Hi, this is Diane Lovetobake on YouTube. And what we're going to make are cookies, but we're going to make a crispy rice cookies. In fact, you're going to use your favorite crispy rice cereal, whatever brand that you prefer, and you're going to be using, in fact, 2 cups of it. It's a quick, easy recipe, and if you have checked out my other videos, I like good recipes, but I like them quick and easy. And it really is a great tasting little cookie. It really is. Now, I no longer will have the recipe below the video, and I'll explain later, and I'm sorry, but I'll try to go through carefully enough and slowly enough that if you want to take notes, you can jot it down as I'm doing it through the video, okay? I'm also going to warn you when I turn on my mixer in case it's going to be a little loud for you. I want to prepare you for that as well. So, we want to, I'm using my stand-up, and I generally use my stand-up all the time for videos because it's quicker and it's easier for me. But you can do this with a stand-up, of course, with a hand mixer if you prefer. You're going to start off with a cup of all solid shortening. Now, if you don't like solid shortening, and I know there are people out there, and I understand that, but if you write to me and ask, can you use butter instead? I really don't know, because I've always made these cookies with the solid shortening. It really brings a great texture to them. They're still light, but they're crispy. And I think it has a lot to do with the solid shortening. So you need 1 cup of solid shortening, and I'm going to put that into my mixing bowl here. And then I'm just going to break it up and cream it a little bit. Warn you about the sound. You're also going to be putting in 1 cup of granulated sugar to that solid shortening. The next thing that's going to be added is 1 cup of brown sugar, and cream them all together. I'm going to raise my speed, so warn you about the sound. Okay, and stay with that. It might take you 2 minutes, it might take you 3. It really depends on the speed of your mixer. But you do want to cream it together and blend it well. You're also going to be adding 2 eggs at room temperature. I'm going to beat in 1 at a time. Now, I'm also going to just kind of get to the bottom of my mixing bowl because it tends to stick down there, and clean up the sides. Now stay with this and beat with this till it really becomes, very creamy and very light yellow in color. You're also going to be putting in 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And I'm going to show you what that looks like so far. Okay, I hope you can see that. So it's nice and creamy, it's well combined. Now we concentrate on our dry ingredients. You're going to need 2½ cups of all-purpose flour. You're also going to be putting in 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. That was 1 teaspoon of cream of tartar. I'm just going to grab my little whisk here, start putting that in. Then you're going to also be adding 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and just kind of stir that in. And you're going to be putting in 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Now we're going to add this dry to the wet. And then we're going to be adding those 2 cups of crispy rice cereal. Now, you can mix it in your mixing bowl with your mixing blade, of course, or you can fold it in by hand. I've done both. I don't really feel that mixing it in with the beaters breaks it up too much. It really doesn't. But that's going to be up to you whether you want to fold that cereal in or you want to, you know, put it in the mixing bowl as I am. And I'm just going to add the flour a little at a time and warn you about the sound. Now it starts to form your cookie dough. Okay, you can see it. And now I'm just going to add the 2 cups of the crispy rice cereal in just till it's combined. And as you see, I didn't beat it too long, so you know, you're really not breaking up or, you know, hurting the integrity of the cereal by doing that. But, you know, that's going to be up to you. You're going to need a cookie sheet or a cookie pan. And I'm just going to try to get to the bottom of my bowl to make sure that everything is combined with my spatula. Or use your wooden spoon, whatever easier. And, you know, it will look like that. And then I'm using this size of a scoop today. Now, if you do it by teaspoons or you use a scoop that is a teaspoon, you're gonna, you know, you're gonna get about, I think 2 dozen cookies out of them. I do get less because I use the bigger scoop. This is more of like a tablespoon. And it, you know, it really depends on the size of the cookie. But I would tell you that I get at least a good, oh boy, maybe 16 cookies out of it at this size. So if you want to, you know, yield more cookies, use a teaspoon or a teaspoon size scoop. And like I said, you could probably get 2 dozens out of them. Now, you don't have to spray the pan. You don't have to grease it. You don't have to, if you want to use parchment paper, feel free. If you want to use your mats, feel free. But you really don't need to have, you know, the pan sprayed or greased or that kind of thing. Now, they are going to spread out a little bit, so I would suggest to put them at least 2 inches apart or so. I'm leveling off the scoop, as you can see. I'm not going to bore you with you watching me put these cookies down here, but do space them. Now you're going to bake these at a higher temperature, which is at 375, and they could take you as long as maybe 8 to 10 minutes. You know, all ovens set up so differently, so you know what your oven is capable of doing. I start watching mine about 5, and then of course, you know, we always rotate. If you're baking with 2 trays in the oven, rotate them during the baking process. Now, when they do come out of the oven, though, let them sit a few minutes on the hot pan before you use your spatula and put them on a cooling rack, because they will easily break for you. Okay, so we're going to set that aside. Okay, and I'm going to rinse my hands here. A little bit of soap, because I was working with raw egg, and I want to show you what they look like once they're baked up. I want to show you one that does not have a chocolate drizzle on it. You don't have to. This is optional, but this is how the cookie will turn out. It will have a lot of surface cracks on it. That's not going to change the taste or anything like that. It's supposed to look like that. It has a hard surface on the top, a nice medium golden brown on the bottom. You don't want to over bake these because then they get a little too hard. I don't think you're going to enjoy them unless you really like a denser, drier cookie. And this is one of them that I, of course, didn't put the chocolate glaze. Now, if you want to put a chocolate glaze, I melt about 3 or 4 ounces of chocolate, or you want to use chocolate chips. I melt mine in the microwave, and I just drizzle some chocolate over the tops of them, and it adds a little bit of flavor to it, and makes them look quite appealing, I think. And then just let them set up till your chocolate dries, and you can certainly do that very quickly if you want to put them in the refrigerator or put them in the freezer for just a minute or two if you want to them to set up real quick, because you want to serve them or people want to eat them. So that's going to be up to you. So whether you want to put the chocolate on top or not, they are a great tasting cookie. Let's break into this one to give you an idea. When you break it, you're not going to hear a real crisp snap because the inside will have a bit of a chew to it. Okay, so it has like a medium density to it. They're not real soft cookies, but when I press down on them, they do come together a bit. So that it indicates to me, again, they're a chewy type. So they're crisp on the top, crisp on the bottom, but they have a chewy texture to them. When you bite into them, you're going to taste, well, it's going to taste like butter. It does. It tastes like a butter cookie, but then you have the crunch of that cereal. And then if you top them with a little bit of chocolate, they are really fantastic little cookies, and they're quick and easy to make. So I want to thank you for watching Diane Lovetobake, and this is where I just really quick explain. I'm sorry I don't put the ingredients in. Somebody just wrote to me the other day, and that's why I explain it, is that it's very frustrating to see your work, and I'm not alone on that, that's for sure. But it's being posted, it's being pinned, it's being taken, and nothing's more frustrating, because I always tell people, you got a question, you got a comment, I'd like to hear from you. I see it on other places, other sites, and I can't answer you, and it frustrates me. It's not worth it anymore. So that's why I try to explain it, but not only that, give you the recipe as I go so that you can take notes if you're interested. Now, if you try this recipe and you like it, well, leave a comment, because I really like to hear from you. But please watch me solely on YouTube, because that's the only place I put my videos on, are YouTube. If you're so inclined and you'd like to subscribe, boy, I'd really appreciate it. In fact, I'm trying to get, I think, another 35 subscribers to make 20,000, and I can't thank you enough. Whether you subscribe, whether you watch all the video, watch it for a few minutes, just you taking the time to watch my channel, Diane Lovetobake, on YouTube. I want to thank you as always. Stay well, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.